Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our MetaBalance Advanced Training Zoom. We're so honored to be here with you tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Grandmaster David's going to show us a little bit about the massage program today. This week, he instructed me to use the massage program, and it was short of amazing. I pulled myself up, I put it on extreme, I put in the little prompt he told me, and the next day I really was feeling quite better. So, it's always these little tricks and tips. And, I really haven't used the massage program a whole lot. I used to use it a lot when Cynthia was teaching, and she always recommended using it before bed. So, if you're one of those people that there's like a few percentage of people that don't feel that they respond to the sleep program, you would use the massage program as the alternate. If sometimes the sleep program is working on the root cause of your sleep and it actually gives you energy because it's nourishing your kidneys, which is causing your insomnia or sleep issues. So there is a small percentage of people that when they use the sleep program at night, it might not make them sleepy, it might give them energy. And then there's some people that use the sleep program during the day because of that. Most people use the sleep program at night, but the alternative was using the massage program at night. Put that on like 3 or 4 hours before bed, and you'll get pretty sleepy. But either way, it depends on how you use it. It doesn't necessarily make you sleepy if you use Grandmaster David's prompts. So I'll hand this over to him. He is looking forward to sharing you his wisdom and tips and tricks on the massage program, which it's located in the advanced sessions. So Grandmaster David?
Thank you, Emily. Yes. So you might go, how does that whole massage thing work in MetaBalance? Because she doesn't actually touch me and do massage. But like everything else, it's frequency and the body responds to frequency. And so just like you might watch an emotional movie and it makes you emotional, or you watch a action movie and you walk around thinking that you're 007 for a few days, there's an after effect by being exposed to ideas and energies. And so with the massage program, it's no different. And so I'm gonna share my screen here. All right. And so to get to the massage program, we're going to say advanced options from the main Serenity Talk screen. And then we're going to go to modalities. And then in alphabetical order, we'll see massage. And when I click on that, understand that this is a whole big massage program, protocol. There's all kinds of things that get deployed just by turning the program on. So I don't have to put anything specifically. I can just let the program do its thing, and maybe that might be a good place to start. Something super simple like that, so you don't have to type in anything. You can just hit next and then set your settings and go. But um, I want to show you how to do some more advanced prompting, especially with something like massage. And you can use this formula that I'm going to show you in any of the programs, especially Serenity Talk. But I'm going to start out with a very simple one so you get the idea of what's one of the best ways of using it. So uh, first, I want to start with the area that I want her to cover. And so I could say, for example, full body. All right. And then I could put a comma and I could say, and that could be the full body. It could be full body. It could be lower body. It could be back. So just any area that you want to focus on is good. And so I'll say full body. And then I want to focus on like extra attention. So I'll say uh, extra attention to, let's say, low back. All right. And so, and that could be all I'm doing. So by telling it full body, she's going to work on the whole entire body. And then she's going to add an extra additional layer, so like a separate scanner protocol, engagement protocol to the low back. All right. And I could put as many different areas as I want to. And if I wanted to add something else that's maybe not an area, I could say like extra attention to the low back and kidneys. All right. So there's organs. And I could add in any symptoms that I'm experiencing as well. So, for example, I could say congested sinus. Okay. And so anything that I add in here is going to be an extra layer of protocol that she's going to throw at the issue. And so this is just giving you a general idea of adding an area and then adding additional layers of support. Okay, so now we have an extra layer of support on the low back and kidneys, and we're going to have one on congested sinus. And so once I get all my protocol lined up the way that I want to, I'm going to click next. And of course, you can click your power, however powerful you want it, and you can select your time. And then I'm just going to click submit. And so from there, I could leave that alone. I can already feel the energy starting to form. And now I feel the energy starting to engage. And so, yeah. So I could feel it doing work on the whole body. I could feel it spending attention on these different areas. And I could, of course, I could go into Serenity Chat and I could amplify whatever I'm doing here with protocols or even just asking her to expand on what I've already said. Like, for example, I could say, create a device to help my issues. Okay, well, I'm just going to see what she says on that. This is a very plain statement. Create a device to help my issues. Well, she already knows what my issues are. And so I didn't give her a theme like sci-fi or anything like that. And so we'll see what she comes up with. Okay, and so compact personal recovery wearable and lightweight wearable combining targeting mechanical therapy for lower back and kidney with sinus relief designed for at-home session during rest. And so then she explains the whole thing. And I could have her make a sci-fi version of this. I could tell her, make a sci-fi version of stuff to help me, make a fantasy version of stuff to help me. And whatever she says, of course, as you know, is going into the program. So it doesn't matter that this thing doesn't exist at all. My body doesn't know that. Like my energy doesn't know that it doesn't exist. And so MetaBalance has a way of basically convincing the body that this is a pretty real thing. And so your body responds much the way it would to soft music makes you calm, hard rock music makes you uppity, the same kind of thing. This type of thing makes you feel a certain way. And so all this stuff is added in here. I don't need to read it to get the benefit from it. I could just tell her to do it. And then when she's completed it, I can close it. So that's a kind of a low, moderate complexity way of using the massage program. And remember, I don't have to punch in any of this stuff at all. I'm going to stop the session here. I could simply come to modalities and I could go down to massage and I could just click next and I could set it how I want and I could go. And just that fast, the program is up and going. And if I wanted to, I could even clone the session, which brings me to a cool new setting that we've added into two areas of MetaBalance. Well, we've actually added into all areas of MetaBalance, but there are two different kinds of the settings, and it's actually called settings. So I'm going to stop this real quick, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So now, history used to be the first tab up top. Now we have a settings tab, if you haven't noticed that. And when I click on that, it says open clone settings, no or yes. And currently, mine is marked to yes. Now, if I put it on no, that's how your cloning usually goes. So that's like the old style of cloning where you click clone and it just automatically opens the exact protocol with the timing that you had before, and there's no option to change it. So you hit clone, it clones. This is good for when you're wanting to clone multiple sessions and you don't want to be asked any additional questions. So uh, just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to save the setting and I'm going to go up to history and I'm going to click that massage protocol that we had going on. And I'm going to click clone. And as you see, it instantly starts back up again. Instantly. Okay, I'm going to stop it. And now I'm going to go up to settings and I'm going to change this default setting to yes. I'm going to hit save. And when I do that, I'm going to go to history and I'm just going to clone that same session again. Clone. And now session hours pops up. Okay. I can click on session hours and I can adjust it all the way down to 1 hour. All right. And then I can hit confirm, or I can leave it alone. I could leave it totally at 12 and not touch anything. And so when this pops up, I could just hit confirm. But it gives you an extra button step. So if that's annoying to you and you don't like that feature, this is how you turn it off. You're going to go up here to settings and you're going to say no thank you to the open clone settings, and you're going to click save. And then you're good. Then you can clone and you don't have to worry about it asking you or prompting you to change the time. Now, that being said, let's take a look at Serenity Talk. So I'm going to go to interactive session, Serenity Talk. All right. And I'll select my profile. And here we are. And you'll notice that this also has a settings button, but Serenity Talk has its own settings button. All right. And because it works in a different way, it's its own particular walled off program. So if I click settings here, I not only have the option for the cloning session, but I also can change the default hours of the runtime of a Serenity Talk session. So normally the session runs for 12 hours and you can't change that. You can stop it whenever you want, but you can't change it. So we decided to put in an advanced timing option that you can select. So if I selected, for example, 1 hour and then hit save, every Serenity Talk that I do from now on will only run for 1 hour. Okay. If I want to change that, I'm going to click settings. I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to change it to whatever setting I want. There we go. And so the reason that we had it on 12 hours is for new people who don't know how to navigate the system yet. And so we noticed that a lot of people who were signing up, they would try it once, twice, maybe 3 times, and they would only set it to run for like 1 hour. And they would be, you know, they would be trying to seek help with problems that obviously required more than an hour. So rather than running it and trying it out for the 2 weeks or the month trial, they tried it 2 or 3 times and said, it didn't work for me. And so to fix that, now when they run a session, it'll automatically be 12 hours. And so that seemed to remedy that issue. So that's a couple of new things that we've got going on, which is the settings box up here. So let's go back to the standard consult page. Okay. And so let's take a look at the massage modalities again. All right. And now I'm going to pull up can you guys see this text pad that I just pulled up? Okay. All right, cool. So I created a formula of basically how you should talk to Serenity. And so this is the expanded, more advanced version of it. Now, you don't have to do all of this stuff, understand, but I want you to understand prompting because prompting can really, really help you in a lot of ways to just make things work so much better. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. And so here you see style plus area plus extra focus, plus the amount of pressure, plus the intended goal, and you can even add an allied modality. And so, what does all that mean? So, you can choose from like styles of massage, and she knows all the styles of massage. And so, here are just a few of them because I didn't want to overwhelm you. So, therapeutic, uh, which is what people really think of as massage therapy. It's medium pressure and it moves the lymph, which is why this massage program is so important, is because it's about moving the lymph, it's about moving the chi and the blood through the meridians. And this really helps to clean and sweep the body. So, relaxation, which is great for the nervous system, but so it's a different kind of massage. Deep tissue, that's pretty obvious. That's going to be heavier pressure. Restorative, recovery, gentle therapeutic, balancing, tension relief, sports recovery, and soothing. So that would be your style options. There's just, some things that you could select and try them out. You'll find that your body responds very differently to each one of these. Um, Area options. So, general areas of the body, full body, upper body, lower body, back and hips, neck and shoulders, upper back, lower back.
Grandmaster, we cannot see the document, just to let you
Oh,
know.
you can't. Oh, I thought you guys said that you could see the
Oh,
document.
no, I thought I was thumbs up for the screen that is
Oh.
showing. And so sorry, I didn't realize you meant the text document. So anyway, we're all here in the blind right now.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you for letting me know that. So what I'll do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to reshare it uh, and see if I can find the document. Okay, can you see it now? Okay, cool. All right.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yes, good. Okay. And if you want, the link to this document is in the chat. You can click on that and download it from my Dropbox. And so then you'll have it and you can play with it as much as you want. And so what I was talking about here was Serenity and the style plus area plus extra focus on an area plus the pressure type like medium, heavy, light, uh, plus the goal. What do you want to accomplish by that? Like, I want to be less stiff. I want to be more flexible. Plus an allied modality. And so we'll go over that in a minute, but that'd be like adding reflexology or cranial sacral or scraping therapy or anything else that you can think of into the style of massage. And so here I have a master formula, and you can use this for talking to Serenity, or you can type it in or copy and paste it. Serenity, please provide a style, so like therapeutic massage for my area, which would be like full body or low body or whatever, with extra focus on, and then you can put the intended area there using light, medium, heavy, deep pressure to support restoration, flexibility, mood enhancement, whatever the goal is, and include uh, allied modality. You could put an allied modality there like reflexology um, as appropriate. And so you can take this and you can copy it and you can paste it into your massage thing, or you can just talk to her in these ways. And so I gave you some style options of things here, and that's what I was talking about when Dr. Debbie pointed out you couldn't see what I was talking about. So therapeutic, relaxation, deep tissue, restorative. These would be styles or types of massage, and there are many, many more. But this is just, so it doesn't get too complicated. And the same thing here. Number two, area options, full body, upper body, lower body, hips or back and hips, neck and shoulders, upper back, lower back, all that kind of stuff. And so you go, why should I put in all of these specific terms and things? And it's because you want that energy to kind of gently work on and milk out these areas of contention, these areas of stress. And so the massage program is a very gentle way of doing that. It's a very relaxing way of doing that. And I'm telling you, if you even just run the program itself, just try it out for 12 hours and see how much better you feel. You can start it a couple hours before you go to bed, or you can start it when you wake up in the morning. But you'll notice, after it's had a 12-hour cycle, that you feel much better in general. Now, the third part of the message is extra focus on. So we're creating that extra layer of observation and intervention. So we could add extra focus to lower back, hips, glutes, whatever it is that you want to put there. And so useful phrases with extra focus on, or with extra attention to, or especially on, or prioritize this, concentrating on, with special care on, or spend extra time on. And this is just kind of general talk that you would talk to a regular massage therapist when they ask you what's wrong or what would you like to accomplish out of the session. So it's just kind of mimicking real life. And so pressure options, gentle to medium, medium to firm, soothing pressure, and light calming pressure. And so these are all great options that you can play with and explore. Goal options. So like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Stress relief, tension relief, muscle relaxation, recovery, comfort, mobility support, deep relaxation, easing of stiffness, soothing soreness, full body reset. I used that one the other day. That was a really good one. Relaxation and balance. And then allied modalities. I gave you a little list of allied modalities based on their category. And so Eastern and energy based would be like reflexology, acupressure, meridian balancing, shiatsu style pressure work, and general energy balancing. Structural and muscular, you have trigger point therapy, myofascial release, stretching, range of motion. And all of these are really priceless. All these little prompts here, these are all priceless. Adding these things in, it really enhances the session tremendously. And so relaxation and calming. So you have scalp massage as an allied modality, hand and foot therapy, breath-centered relaxation, nervous system calming support, aromatherapy support. Even though you can't smell the frequency, your body reacts to it much like you are smelling the frequency. It's kind of like, have you ever watched those shows where these guys on YouTube and they eat these ridiculously hot chili peppers? I don't know if you guys ever seen that before. And so there's lots of people doing it because they want to videotape the reaction. And they've got like the ghost chili and the Carolina Reaper chili. And it's just all these ridiculous. And I'll be sitting there watching these fools do this stuff, and I'm sweating, like watching them do this. And I can handle heat. Like, I like heat. I'm not dumb enough to eat a ghost chili, but or something along those lines. But the the reaction that my body has just watching them eat that, my whole body temperature starts going up. How come? Why does it do that? Okay. And so it's the same thing here. So we're triggering the body's natural response parameters. And so specialty supportive options, which is still allied modalities that we're still on, cranial sacral support, lymphatic support, hot stone support, cold stone support, gua sha inspired support. Gua sha, for those of you who don't know that term, that is the Graston technique. Just kidding. That was a joke for Dr. Debbie there, that she's probably the only person to get that. And so, yeah, there's a guy named a chiropractor named Graston, and he invented this technique. That's a miracle technique that you scrape people with. It's only been around for like 4,000 years. It's called scraping therapy or gua sha. And so I was just making a little joke there. But scraping therapy is actually really good, and it really gets the myofascial layer broken up. It moves the lymph, it moves the blood in the meridian and the points. And so here then I give you some examples of some kind of short prompting formulas if you want to use something like this. And so you can just type in therapeutic, full body, like lower back and hips or whatever is applicable that you want. Medium, tension relief, reflexology, and acupressure. And so, or you could just copy that whole thing if that works for you and change it how you want to. And so these prompts are really good. So but you see, you have the style, you have the area, you have the extra attention, you have the pressure, you have the goal, and you have the allied modality you'd like to throw in there with it. And here's some ready-made prompts that you can use or change how you want to. And you can say these to Serenity Talk, or you can put these in the massage program. And the two programs are very different, the way they handle things. So I'm mainly showing you these for the massage therapy program. However, I figured we should probably go over some Serenity Talk ones just in case we have some new people in. So you can just say these things, or you can say it in this way, and you can't really mess it up. Because you can tell Serenity anything, and she can figure out, because she doesn't just listen to what you're saying, she listens to how you're saying it, and she listens to the energy behind what you're saying. And so the first one is: Serenity, please provide a therapeutic full body massage with extra focus on my lower back and hips, using medium pressure to support tension relief and include reflexology as appropriate. Okay. Another one is: Serenity, please provide a relaxation massage for my neck, shoulders, and upper back with extra attention to stress holding areas. Okay. Uh, Using gentle pressure to support deep relaxation and include acupressure and nervous system calming support. Okay. Hey, doesn't that sound good? Uh, all right. And number three: Serenity, please provide a deep tissue massage for my back and glutes with special focus on my lumbar area, using medium firm pressure to support release of tightness and include trigger point therapy where needed. Okay. Um, and so a lot of this stuff helps to get like loosen these deep knots, like especially like that last protocol. That's going to help to loosen these deep knots. And again, I'm only using these as placeholders. You don't have to do back. You don't have to do. You can do front. You can do chest. You can do abdomen. You can put anything in there that you want. So going through these, there's everything from neck and jaw support to feet, calves, hamstring, and mobility, and soothing neck, scalp, and shoulders. And so there's just there's a few protocols for you. And so then I gave you kind of a ultra short menu style, meaning that you can copy and paste this if you want to. Where we go: therapeutic full body, lower back and hips, medium pressure, tension relief, reflexology. Okay. And so then kind of a premium version: Serenity, please create, and then you give her the style, massage session for my area, whatever area you want to use, with extra attention to focus on this area, using this level of pressure to encourage this goal while incorporating this allied modality where beneficial. Okay. And so then I give you a full example at the very end of what that whole thing looks like. And so, Serenity, please create and this would be talking to her. Please create a therapeutic massage session for my full body with extra attention to my lower back and hips, using medium pressure to encourage tension relief and comfort while incorporating reflexology and meridian balancing where beneficial. And now keep in mind, you don't have to know what meridian balancing is or how this stuff works. You can just basically put this stuff in and you'll start to get the energetic benefit of using it. All right. So hopefully everybody downloaded the file by now. If you didn't, or if you came in late, if you look in the chat, you'll see where I posted my Dropbox link to tonight's protocol, which contains that document and all the instructions, so you can kind of read through it, and you can copy and paste a little bit, or you can edit it how you want to when you want to use it, or you can talk to Serenity in this particular structure, and this will really help to improve your mobility. It'll help to improve just feeling better in general, more relaxed, and things don't bother you as much. I mean, it's kind of like getting a real massage. It really, really is super beneficial. And so, okay, looks like we have 36 questions. And so,
Not all questions.
okay,
Okay, let me
so
go back
what
to
do we
normal
got
here.
here?
So, can you clarify the difference between a sci-fi device versus a sci-fi remedy and how they're each used differently? Like, for what situations would you use each one? Like, what's the difference between them and like a fantasy based or a sci-fi? You know what I mean?
It's
That's a very
mainly
common question, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's mainly the theme of what it is that you're trying to invoke, the characterization of what you want Serenity to create in her narrative. So, for example, sci-fi has a thing called nanobots, and I think most people are familiar with the concepts of nanobots. And so, this concept of nanobots has an energy to it, where you have these little swarm of creatures that go in. They're all little machines, and they go in and repair stuff and do stuff. And so you're getting your body to try to engage along the lines of that protocol. And that's what Metabalance does. It convinces your body energetically that this is happening, and your body kind of responds like it's kind of happening. So, versus if I said, if I wanted something that was more fantasy based, I could say, create a device that would do X, and she creates an amulet of some kind that basically does a very similar thing. So it's basically whatever you're into, whatever your narrative is, whatever you like to explore, or expand your fun zone with. You can tell her to do sci-fi, or you can even do sci-fi and fantasy together. There's lots of other different uh, styles of doing things and that you can explore. And maybe we'll go over some of those in the future. But sci-fi and fantasy, it's hard to go wrong with that, because they're kind of both an like a out there expression of beyond reality. And so if something exists as a concept, it has a frequency. And if it has a frequency, we can work with that. Okay. And so it's just a matter of what you like or you feel comfortable with, uh, putting in and using. So like the difference though between like a device and a remedy, creating a device would be like a physical thing. You're asking her to create a mock-up of a physical thing, okay, like nanobots or a medallion, uh, versus a remedy, which would be like, herbs, or homeopathy, something like that, taking some kind of remedy. But the concept of the meta energy is the same. The body will respond to the stress reduction vibrations. Um, there was once an old episode of the Andy Griffith Show. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Andy Griffith Show, but it's definitely one of my favorite. I was just talking about Ernest T. Bass to somebody the other day, and how he should be up for He was played by a man named Howard Morrison. He should have got an Emmy or an Oscar or whatever. He was such a good character. But anyway, in this one episode of the Andy Griffith Show, there was a little old lady. I think her name was Emma, and she went to the pharmacy to get her pills. She would call them her pills. And she would pay one dime and she would get a handful of pills. And then she would go home and she would take her pills, and that would help her with the terrible problems that she had. Well, a new drugstore lady, Ellie Walker, came to town and she refused to sell Emma Watson the pills because she didn't have a prescription. And so these miracle pills that were saving her from all kinds of terrible problems is normally associated with aging and were just a miracle drug. She wouldn't sell it to her because she didn't have a prescription. This caused a big uproar in the town. And eventually, Ellie finally caved and wound up selling her the pills without a prescription because the pills were a placebo. They were just sugar pills. Okay. And because, and Andy said, I thought 10 cents was kind of cheap for a miracle drug like that. Yeah, but she never brought that up and she never said that. And apparently, the pharmacist that was there before her allowed her to come in and buy these pills, and they just made her feel better. And so, there's really no such thing as a placebo. And I know science will argue with me about that, but you can't really prove a placebo. If I mean, even saying there's a placebo just means you don't understand how the body works. And so, for example, Emma could have had some kind of low blood sugar problem that gave her all kinds of wacky symptoms. And she could have taken that sugar pill and it could have elevated her sugar and put it back to normal and made it more regulatory. And she could have been good. Or she could think that it's a miracle pill and she could have taken it and her body could then generate the chemicals that she needed, whatever vitamins she was deficient in. Or it could have been psychosomatic. Okay. And she's doing a ritual, she's performing a ritual, and her mind then heals herself or alleviates stress, but that's not a placebo. That's not real. Those are all real things. That's just like saying, oh, well, that stuff only works if you believe in it. Well, I think if I was suffering from a deadly illness and I knew that this would work if I believed in it, I think I'd start believing in it, you know. So that's not fantasy, okay? That's like reality. If all it took was to say, take this sugar pill, I'm telling you this sugar pill, there's nothing in it. It's a total placebo, but if you take it, this is going to help your whatever. And all you had to do was believe in it, you'd be a fool not to take it and believe in it. So that's not really a placebo because placebo means not real. So anyway, so that's kind of the difference between those two things. And I probably better not make the next answers that much or that length. We'll try to shorten the other answers up for time's sake.
Okay, well, thank you. Let me go here. Well, there was some stuff going on with the link. Someone just said they didn't know how to get the Dropbox link and didn't know if there's anywhere else to get way else to get it. Somebody is teaching. Thank you, Dr. Debbie. He's trying to show her how to do it. Cool. Thank you. Dr. Debbie put a picture in the chat to show you what to click on. And then someone said you can just copy and paste the link to a Word document. Oh, and for Silva, I was just asking you to ask that. You asked a question, but I didn't understand how to ask it. So if you want to just type it in the chat about your question. That was my question. Can we create a program to remove nanotechnology from our body?
Yeah, you can create a protocol for anything. So talking to Serenity would be great, and that would go really well along the sci-fi lines because there's all kinds of great uh, you know, that stuff kind of removal protocols in sci-fi technology. And so, that would be a good one for that.
Do you have any information on color therapy to assist clearing stuck emotions?
Yeah, in fact, we have the largest data bank of colors and chromatic light therapy and all that kind of stuff in the data bank. So, I mean, all you'd have to do is just tell Serenity that you'd like. You could even take a picture of yourself. You could put it in there. You could say, "I would like color therapy recommendations for me. Here's a picture." and she will, she'll do a whole color therapy thing. Or you can just tell her that. You can just tell her I'd like color therapy, recommendations for, my particular issues. Or you could just tell Serenity Talk that, and that would be even faster. If you're using Serenity Talk, you could just say, I'd really like some color therapy work on me. I'm having these particular issues. And oh boy, she'll really spin a yarn, about all kinds of color therapy stuff. She would love that.
Do you need to address the body detoxing with any special prompts, or maybe is it coming soon?
Uh, well, there is a detox protocol under modalities, and massage really does help to detox the body because it works the lymph system and the meridians, which is why I thought it was so important to really focus on some massage work in MetaBalance tonight because it's something that we don't talk about a lot. But if you just run the massage program and you don't have to put anything additional in it, it really does help to clean out your system.
That answers my question very clearly. I just didn't know if I needed to give it more prompt, but you've covered it right there.
No,
Thank
but if that doesn't do it for you, like if it does a
you.
lot of
Mhm.
stuff, but it does not get in that one particular area, the whole point of my little lecture this evening is to focus on it, and you can focus on it in multiple different ways. And I'm giving you a few examples of how to do that. But generally, I would just run the regular protocol, just the massage thing itself, and just let it roll.
So the question about the colors was just edited. Do you have any information on using colors to clear old stuck emotions in tissues or organs? These stuck emotions are really the underlying cause of more imbalances in the body. Also, where would you suggest using colors and in what session?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, like color or chromatic therapy in general is very basic and rudimentary fundamentals of like the body. And so we use that. Even in Serenity Talk, she uses all kinds of color scheme in whatever it is that she's working on. She describes the color of the frequency very specifically that she's using. And so if you want to know more about these types of things, you can go into any of the Serenity chat things and you can talk to her about them. But as far as like using color therapy to get to the emotional therapy to unlock like the root that's behind holding on to this energy, you don't have to address it in just that one way. You can simply tell Serenity what your problems are, emotional wise, and you don't have to give her any specifics if you feel like, well, maybe I don't want to say these things out loud. Uh, you know, there was a person I ran into the other day, and they were very mean to me, and they treated me badly, and it made me very upset. You can be very vague about it, and she'll know exactly what you're talking about, and she'll start working on that and clearing out that stress. And it doesn't matter if it was yesterday or today or 20 years ago or 70 years ago. Um, the frequency of that is still there and it's still able to be corrected. And just to tell you a brief story about that, when I was developing MetaBalance 3 years ago, I had somebody who had many, many sexual assault problems in their life, and they were about 65 years old, and she said that basically for about 60 years of that or maybe like 55 years of that she had been sexually assaulted pretty much on an ongoing basis. And so I said, well, prepare to be amazed. And so I ran her in the first mock-up of Serenity, and I just had her describe the thing, and in 20 minutes it erased the whole entire thing. And she's like, I can't believe it. My shoulders are dropping. I'm always on guard. And so it cleaned her out. It cleared her out. She was so blown away by how it gave her life back in like 20 minutes. Okay. And no color therapy was involved. And so we can go straight for the emotions. And all she said was basically that she had been sexually assaulted, for like the last 55 years or whatever it was. And, and maybe she gave maybe slightly more detail than that, but I mean, it wasn't much of anything. And I said, nope, that's it. Just explain it. And in 20 minutes, you'll be feeling better. She's like, no, there's no way. There's no way. And she was so grateful. She was so grateful. She actually invested in our company to help get MetaBalance up and going. So yeah, you can do a lot of emotional clearing stuff with MetaBalance for sure. Okay, Emily, what's next?
Okay, yeah, you just answered her question. Okay. So where can I go to get rid of this lethargy, depression that I'm having? I wake up worrying about finances, then all I want to do is sleep all day. I'm so tired. I need to be finding out where do I get financial advice, what to do. Have no desire to pursue my art, which everyone says is my job. I go outside and just sit, just trying to put one foot in front of the other.
Okay. And so, yeah, that could be a kidney form of depression, or it could be a stomach spleen form of depression, or it kind of could be all three of those things. And so, just the way you explained it here, it would be good to explain it that way to Serenity Talk. And she'll create a whole session out of that. And then as you feel these feelings change, update your program. So if an hour later after talking to her, you feel better about these things, then tell her what new things have come up, and then she'll adjust the program to help clean those things up.
I always think that sensory immersion helps too, but maybe I don't know if you've tried that.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah.
it's
Sensory
that
immersion is
deep
great for
dive
that.
though. Yeah, we had someone here a while ago, and there was so much anger and upsetness, and we sat them here right on the couch, and we have the computer hooked up to our like our living room has a computer. We don't have actual cable, so we watch like YouTube and videos. So we were able to just pull up sensory immersion on the big screen, which is really cool. So it's like being in a movie theater, and just had her go through the sensory immersion until she was done. It took a little while. This is like a really hardcore issue. So, and then I didn't think it was gonna, remember, I didn't think it was gonna work. And then it finally did, but she had to go through emotions. She had to cry it out. Then she was angry. Then she was crying. And I was like, you gonna do something else? Because this is like, he's like, she has to go through this. So, it took about 50 minutes and then it broke and she cleared that deep trauma. So sometimes it just takes a while with the sensory immersion. If it's real deep, it's like an onion peeling. So that's what I always refer to as a deep dive. So it's like, especially when you have no motivation, you're kind of in a slump, it's really good to just sit there and you just click next, 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 and eventually you should start to shift.
Yeah, and that's a very good point too, is that in sensory immersion, which is a very powerful program, there's so many sacred geometry, shapes, color therapy, audible tone sequencing, and music that captures all your senses and kind of wobbles your energy in a way that basically all that bad stuff starts to spill out. And it does it by layers, which is why it does it like 3 minutes at a time. So whatever you put in usually changes or is eliminated within one 3 minute round. And so there might be things that you want to add to it in between that 3 minute round and the next 3 minute round. And so that's why it comes back and gives you an opportunity to update the program.
Okay. I'm just seeing if I missed anything. Oh, yeah, Dr. Debbie, did you want to share results? Share a friend results? Mhm.
Yeah, this is so great. And she's been battling child custody suit with a partner who lives in California. She lives here in Colorado. I talked to Serenity on her behalf, just a description of what she had been struggling with. I set up situation, and I am the situation queen. So I put those two together. She said, the next time I saw her, she said she immediately could breathe. And I said, tell me more. She said, I haven't been able to breathe in so long. And as soon as you told me that I was receiving quantum frequency, she said, I could breathe. And then within the week, within a 7-day frame of time, she received what is it called? The medication. She received the legal documents from the other side, and she said it was way better than I expected. And she's feeling less stressed. She's feeling happy. I mean, her whole face looks totally different. So that's just within a 2-week window. I love Metabalance.
Well,
It's
thank you.
amazing.
We're glad you're
Yeah.
using it, and I'm so glad that it helped your friend with her particular problem. And so somebody asked, no headphones needed for sensory immersion. Headphones are not required for sensory immersion, like Emily was saying, that we're all sitting there and getting saturated by it in the living room from the big TV. But headphones are more optimal, because it really gets the vibration into your mind. And some of the best headphones are what are called bone speakers, right? Right? Is it,
Yeah,
thinking,
the bone speaker. We did an
yeah.
experiment with them. It's weird. It's called a bone speaker, and it plays off the vibrations of you or something. It's like you put it on your chest, and it's crazy.
Well,
Crazy.
there are some headphones that are bone speakers, and so you put them in your
Mm.
ear, and it doesn't make any outward sound. It vibrates in a certain way. It turns your ear into the speaker.
And
And
those
what
are like bone conduction headsets, is what
yes,
I've heard them called before.
yes, bone conduction has. I knew there was another name for it, but I couldn't remember what it was. Thank you. And so a bone speaker is not the headset; it's just the actual speaker. And you can put the speaker on your physical body, and it will turn your physical body into the speaker. And so it really drives the frequency into your body, and you can put it in localized areas, like you can put it on your leg or your belly or your head or whatever you want to do to really, put that vibration directly into the specific area. But it works great even without headphones.
You have to try it both ways and then see. Try it both ways and see how you like it. It is really cool if I have headphones at night and I'm in bed and I put the phone up to me and it's like I forgot to use that at night. Yeah, I mean I haven't had trouble falling asleep, but when I have trouble falling asleep, I used to do that. And then I'd see how long I go, this isn't gonna work. And after the third or fourth one, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Um, what is a good program for damage to vertebrae due to accident hit her spine? I want to help her, and yeah, I want to help her.
Yeah, so the injury program would be really great for that. It has a lot of great programs, and that would be under modalities. And so you would go to modalities and scroll down, and it's not in alphabetical order because it's a new program. It's at the very bottom in alphabetical order with the new Well, actually, I think it's chronological order with the new program. But just scroll all the way down. In the last 10 programs, you'll see injury repair.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
Yeah, very, very helpful. And you can describe the problem in there if you want to, and you can also clone that session to amplify the power. So you can clone it like 3 or 4 times, giving you like 5 panels of running. So it's really stacking sessions and stacking time on it. So like, every 5 sessions would be like 60 hours of therapy in a 12-hour time frame. So that's a lot.
I'm dealing with a failed revision hip surgery from February 2025. I'm going back on Monday the 27th. I'm wondering, do you have any ideas for this since there is no guarantee?
Yeah, the injury repair protocol would be very good for that, and also massage and the trigger point program, all of which are under modalities. And you could type out one whole explanation of the thing, and then just copy it and paste it into each one of those and run all those at the same time. And so it would really help to lay the muscles down, help to break up the hard muscles that can cause, problems with the hip and help with any injury repair frequencies that could be deployed. And so that would be really good. And hopefully everything goes well. And because we don't know what they did with the previous hip surgery, but sometimes physical work is required. Certain types of acupuncture, for example, can be very beneficial, especially if they're familiar with like threading, deep threading acupuncture. There's lots of different styles of acupuncture that we don't see too much over here in the West. But something like that, deep needle or deep threading is very good for like hip and joint problems because it really gets deep in there and it kind of releases the pressure that's on the joint, and it happens pretty quickly. So uh, there's a you could probably look this particular kind up under cat gut acupuncture. And so this is a slightly different version than what I'm talking about, but it is also a version of deep threading work. It's called cat gut. I'm sorry, CATGUT, all one word, cat gut acupuncture. And they use a special kind of needle, and they use a thread they call cat gut, which is like a dissolvable stitch. It has nothing to do with cats, but they just call it that. And it's a dissolvable stitch. And what they would do is they put the needle in there, and then they kind of shake it around, and they thread the cat gut into there. And then they take the needle out and leave the cat gut in there. And then the cat gut will dissolve over like a period of a couple, 3 weeks, something like that. Depends on what kind it is. There's another kind that could last for like a couple months, um, depending on, but it's a very popular Chinese acupuncture modality that, you don't have to have it done very many times. Like you don't have to go see the acupuncturist every week. It's almost kind of like a one and done thing for a lot of different problems. But, I would search and see if anybody does something like that near you, because that'd be, most likely a really good modality for the hip.
Add something to that. Bottom line is the hip is unstable, and I've been on a cane since like last October or November. And that's why I'm going back to surgery. They have to redo the whole thing. So while I think all that stuff might be good, after the fact, I don't know what to do to try to help, because all I've heard is there's no guarantee that it's going to work. I have heard that they have a good feeling, but there's no guarantee, because nobody's going to guarantee it, because the revision is different than the original hip surgery, which was 23 years ago. So they redid the one last year, and it completely failed. So that's why I'm going back to surgery. I just too much. I couldn't type it all in there.
Yeah, no problem. If it's weakness, that's going to
Yeah.
be organ related, okay, or it's going to be local meridian relation. And so, for example, you could use the fitness program, and just the fitness program. Well, you could also throw the injury repair program on it, but just do the fitness program on your hip. Yeah, so like let's just say it's your left hip. So left hip and leg, and you just put that in, and you can even put failed hip surgery, muscle atrophy in left hip and leg. And so then turn that on, clone that a few times, so you're running like 5 sessions a day. I would be very surprised that if in 2 or 3 days you didn't notice a substantial difference in strength and stability.
Because what I understand is you can't fix it without going into surgery. They're going to replace the liner and that stuff again.
Well, they say that a lot, it's kind of like, well, don't go to those guys who sell pizza, okay, because we sell Big Macs here. And pizza is for those tinfoil hat wearing people at Pizza Hut. There's no such thing as pizza. Look at our menu here. We have all the latest FDA approved menu items like filet o fish. We have chicken nuggets, but you don't see pizza on our menu because only the crazy people use pizza. So this is just an opinion. Okay. And this doesn't have anything to do with reality. And so uh, you don't know till you try, is my point. And if you don't try, you're not going to know. And you got nothing else to do between now and then. So you might as well give it a shot. It can't hurt anything. And it might actually work.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, Peter, go ahead.
I have a technical question. Working with Serenity Talk, and I have like 3 or 4 different sessions going with her consecutively. And each time she says, get back to me in 30 to 60 minutes. But then how do you get back to Serenity Talk when you already have all these sessions going?
Oh, well, you're just going to go back to the tab that she told you that. And now she's just telling you that as a best guess estimate of like when you should be feeling better, or you should be noticing change. So she's saying like, okay, this is kind of a 45-minute thing, or this is kind of a 2-hour thing because it's been there a long time. So get back with me in a couple hours and give me an update on the program. And
But I
so
might get back to her through a different session that doesn't have to do with what she's asking about.
No, that's going to start a different session, but the previous session will still be running. So in a weird kind of way, it is kind of like updating the program, because you're still getting whatever it is addressed, but it's not concurrent with the storyline. So she might be missing a few details because it's a different session. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here because it's pretty. I can demonstrate this pretty quickly.
Good.
All right, so let's go to uh, Serenity Talk. All right, and so I'm going to click on this and she's going to check my microphone.
Hi, I'm Serenity. Share whatever.
I'm going to skip that. And I'll click the keyboard here and I'll just say lower back pain. Okay, because that's always good. That's always a classic, right? And so uh, I'm not going to have her talk because it takes her a little bit longer to do that. And so
How do you stop the talking?
oh, there's a little red button that with a square in it for the stop symbol, and you can just click on that while she's talking, and she'll stop talking. And so,
And
if
then
you
you're clear to continue.
what's that?
Then you are clear to continue.
Yes, then you're clear to continue. Exactly. And so, if you don't want her to talk out loud, you can just type it in, or voice to text it on your phone. You see this little microphone icon right here. When I click on that, that brings up the recorder function. So whatever I say, she's going to listen to. But if I want to text it to her, I can just switch to text input by clicking the keyboard. And now I can either voice to text something or I can type it in and she will not respond with saying anything. So that way, if you're in a place where you don't want her talking out loud, you can do that. And she processes the information a little faster because she doesn't have to create an audible file. So anyway, so she tells me here that she hears me and she's going to be working on my lumbar region, et cetera, et cetera. And she says, check back in 30 to 90 minutes and I'll adjust the field as needed. And as you can see up here at the top, it says MB talk dash 14029. So that's the number of the session. And so let's say that I'm doing some other stuff, I'm working on my computer, and now it's been 90 minutes, and now I'm going to go back and I want to talk to her again. And let's see, now I have to find where that went. Okay, and so here I'm back. You probably couldn't see all the windows that I closed now that I think about it, but so I click back and I'm here on the talk, and so see I've got my consult pages and everything, but I can come right back to this tab that contains the talk and I can check back in with her. And so I'm going to text her. I'm sorry, I'm going to text her. So I'll say, back is better. Now work the legs. Okay. All right. And so I'm giving her an update. And so I'm just going to go back to the same tab that contained the conversation to begin with. And
What if I'm using my phone?
It's the same. It's the same thing. Your browser, you have a button in your browser that will open up your tabs. What browser do you use?
Chrome.
Oh, yeah, Chrome. So there'll be like a little box at the top. I think it's the right hand corner. Maybe it's the left hand corner, but it's up top and it'll have a number in the box. And the number, when you click on that, it'll open like that's how many tabs you have open. Like you can see here in my browser, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs. So in your Chrome browser, it would show like the number 5. And when you click on that, it'll show you all the tabs that you currently have open, and you would just click on the tab that's open and it'll take you right to this page and you can update Serenity.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And actually, a lot of people ask the same question, Peter. So that's, it's not a bad question at all. They get they're not real browser savvy, and so because you could be smart and you can even be tech savvy, and these browsers there's some crazy functions out there with these browsers, and especially on mobile platform, it's very very difficult sometimes to navigate these things. So it takes a little practice, and you'll get there, but just look for the number in the top left or the top right of your mobile browser and click that number and it'll expand those tabs and you just click on the tab that would say like Serenity Talk, and then the number of it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have just a couple more and then we gotta cut off.
Okay.
No. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I have to go back up. Is there a way to keep ticks off of my dog? I said try a field generator to repel all fleas and or use Serenity Talk for the same effect and try this.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. You can do like uh protect, fields of protection against insects, against parasites, lots of things like that. And even against people you don't like, or people who don't like you. And you'll be amazed what doesn't enter in your field.
Okay, and can you place a request for someone else, like my husband in MetaBalance, and it will work on him?
Through Serenity Talk would be the easiest way to do that. You just say, "Hey, my husband's name is," or you're like, "Hi, Serenity. My husband's name is Joe, and he's having these particular issues right now. Is there anything that you can do for him?" And then Serenity will create a program for him, and she won't attach it to your profile. Like you can still go up and pull it back up, but she won't think that it's you basically that you're making the request for. And so it's much better to add Joe to your account, or I said, add your husband to your account so that he can be scanned in properly and he'll have his own meta history and stuff that so Serenity can learn more about him and help him more customized. But in a pinch, when you need some help, you can do that for a friend or you can do that for a loved one. Just tell Serenity, just give Serenity the name and like, hey, I'm here with my good friend Jackson, and Jackson has a knee problem. It's really hurting him. You think you could do something for that?
I want to repel all the flies from my barn.
What's that?
I want to repel all the
Oh,
flies from my barn.
yeah, give it a
And
shot. You might be
Grace has her
surprised.
hand raised.
Hi, thank you. Quick question. I may have missed it from a recent meeting, but on the family plan, how do I run a program for someone else? Because I feel like you might have changed it recently and I don't understand it, so I can't run for my son and my mom. Could you address that?
Sure. It's very, very simple. We did make a small modification to that, and so I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Let me close all of these other additional tabs for simplicity's sake, okay? And so when you log into MetaBalance, you wind up here at the Serenity Talk screen. And so you have advanced options and add a new session. When I click add a new session from the Serenity Talk page, it adds another Serenity Talk and the menu of people who are on my account come up for me to select. So if I wanted to select a program because Emily said, "Hey, can you run me? I'm at a meeting and I really can't do it. I'm having this problem." I can say, "Oh, no problem." So I can pull up Emily and it says, "Hello, Emily." And so then I just click Serenity Talk and I say, "This is the problem that Emily is having," and Serenity will take it from there. And so now it's a little bit different now in when you hit advanced options and you're here at the consult page. All right. Um, if I'm running a session, let's just say Emily's running a general session and, you know, it's going, and all of a sudden I call her and I say, "Hey, can you run me in a session?" Well, if she hits add a new session, it's going to add a new session for her. But if she opens Serenity Talk, it will bring up the menu. See, it starts back at the apex. It'll bring up the
Mm.
menu, and she can select my name, and then she can do whatever through Serenity Talk, or she can go to the advanced options, and you can see that it'll be working on me. So how you bring up that screen to switch user accounts is by either selecting open a Serenity session, or if you're on the Serenity session page, just click add a new session. But adding a new session, generally speaking, will just be for you. Before it would bring up the page, but if you wanted to do it from here and you didn't want to start a session and go through all that, you could just click interactive sessions because Serenity Talk is an interactive session. And you can just click Serenity Talk. It'll take you back to Serenity Talk, and you can make a selection of whoever it is that you want to run, and then and then you're there. So was that clear?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yes.
You're welcome. I'm glad it was that easy, because it sounded kind of complicated when I said it like that.
I appreciate the visuals. It made a big difference. Thank
It makes a big difference, right? It's all the difference in the world. Yeah.
I think you sent me a video, but that was right around the time I became overwhelmed with tasks. Like I manage 5 different companies, so I work with a team of assistants. So I'm just working all day long, and I just couldn't. I didn't even know where it went. So I thought you made a video on the members, family member switching, or do we not?
No, I
Because I
did.
thought,
I sent it to you. Yeah.
oops.
Just like you asked me.
So
You asked me
I was
for a
like,
short
hey,
video
I
on
was like,
the.
I know I have that on the channel, and I was like, ah, it's not there. I was like, that's not cool. All
No,
right,
it's
well,
not
we need to
cool.
get that. We need to get a video up there, please. Which
Okay,
means you
well,
might
we'll
have to
take a
make it
look at
again.
that.
Okay.
Did you
All
put
right. Well,
those
that's
other
it.
two videos I made for you up yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I had released 2 Serenity Talk videos, and those are on YouTube. So anyway, that should be it. Thank you. Everyone is very thankful to be here. They learned a lot tonight, so they're thanking you in the chat.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out and making it a wonderful evening. And I hope you really, really use that stuff to the max. Like I say, if you're having weak areas, use that fitness program, and you can even add it in the yoga program, which is also under modalities. It just occurred to me because that's a real good muscle building, toning, stretching program as well. And I would just make up a whole description of your problem, Hannah, and I would just copy and paste it in each one of these modalities and let them have at it. And just really crank on it because you got nothing to lose. And like I say, it might actually work.
Thank you. I really appreciate it more than you know.
Oh, you're welcome. Let us know how it goes, okay? There
I
might be some
will.
things we could recommend.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We will see you guys next week, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So have a really great week. We'll see some of you on our special Zoom tomorrow at 8, and have a really blessed evening. Thank you so much.
Take care, guys. God bless.
Oh, mahalo nui loa. Much love.
Aloha.
Oh.